Huh? Huh? Better than this. Okay, friends. Today we shall just try to understand what is the role of marketing research in doing business and what we mean by the research process. Now, let's try to understand certain things. For example, let us try to understand the nature of marketing research here. Now, a manager of a company, a food company may ask, will a package change improve my brand image? If you just look at it, why do we need to study a marketing research? Marketing research studies will help us to understand so many parameters of doing business. Well, before we understand what is marketing research, we need to understand what is marketing is all about. To begin with, a marketing is nothing but it's an exchange. It's an exchange between the company and the customer. The company gives out the product to the customer, and the customer gives the price for it to the company. So this kind of an exchange process happens between the company and the consumer. Whatever the activities that you undertake as a company professional, you being a company professional, whatever the activities that you undertake, for this exchange to happen between the company and the customer, those set of activities is known as marketing. Well, in this case, for that transaction to happen between the consumer and the company, both have to come onto the same page, both have to come on the same understanding. Well, the company has to prepare the products as per the customer's requirements, and the company has to come up with the pricing as per the customer's requirements. Only and only then the consumers will definitely buy your product, the company's products. And only then the company will make profit. So it's very imperative for us to understand that every company should invest time, effort, and money very significantly in the process of market research. Okay, now a manager of a food company, the marketing research can happen in various fields. It can happen in various ways, for that matter. If a company wants to produce a product, or if they want to invent a new product, before they do that, they need to understand the customer's needs. Based on those needs, the company can instruct its research and development to come up with a product. Okay, so you may take a product, it could be related to a phone, it could be related to any kind of phone, or it can be related to a service like transportation. It could be related to any product for that matter. The innovations essentially will come from the consumer's end, and the business people, the corporates, will convert those innovations into the form of products and services to make profitability. All right. Now, a company should they should do a research on what should be the optimal pricing. What should be the optimal pricing that needs to be charged by the company to the customer? What should be the proper pricing? So that for that particular price, the company should be able to, the customer should be able to buy that product for that particular price. Okay, so what should be the proper price? So to understand that from the consumer's point of view, the company has to do a proper research and to figure out what should be the proper pricing. Now, apart from that, in order to understand the company's the customer's buying behavior, the company has to understand in what way the product should be promoted, so that it can improvise upon the building of awareness. What are the channels the consumers are connected to, so that we can create a maximum awareness about a product or a service amongst the consumers? So that has to be deliberated upon by using marketing research. The marketing research might find out that most of your consumers are on the Facebook, so it is feasible for a company to do investment on Facebook. Marketing research might come up and say that most of the consumers do read Deccan Herald, and if you put an advertisement on the Deccan Herald, then probably they will get to know about your product and services. So basically what is happening is marketing research will help company to understand how to create awareness about a particular product that is being offered. Apart from that, marketing research will also help us to understand where the customers are located, in which locality they are, so that I can distribute my products and services into those locations. What are the exact localities? What are the exact localities that these customers are based into? All right. So that is how marketing research finds its own significance while doing business. Basically, marketing research helps the industries to get connected with the general consumers. So by doing market research, more and more companies, the companies will understand their understandability of the consumers with whom they are going to do business with. That will improve very significantly. Okay, so here are some of the examples that I have just listed in here. Let's suppose, a manager of a food company may ask a question like, will a package change improve my brand image? If I want to tweak my package for the product category, will it have a significant, will it change the perception of the consumers? And that way, will it impact in brand image? Will it improve the brand image? Okay, so this question can be asked to the consumers. So probably they may offer, they can show the product design, and then they can ask if this product design is good enough or not. Then, another question could be like, a competitor may ask, and how can I monitor my sales and retail trade activities? What are the ways by which I can just monitor? How do I get to know? How do I get to know if my sales are better than my competitors or not? And that is possible using marketing research. Okay, basically these sales executives would get in touch with the retailer, and the retailer will pass on the intelligence whether the competitors' products are moving faster than yours, or your products are moving faster than the competitors, and things like that. Okay, so the manager in the industrial tool market may also ask questions like this: to whom am I losing the sales? From whom am I taking the sales? So these are some of the questions that company executives can ask, which can be addressed by the marketing research. Now, what is the nature of marketing research? Now, let us try to understand all the marketing questions as well as the other related to specific marketing decisions require information about how the customers, distributors, and competitors will respond to the marketing decisions. In case if the company changes its pricing, the company needs to know how the distributor is reacting to that change in price, how the retailers are reacting to that change in the price, how the competitors are reacting to that change in the price. Suppose, say for example, the company decreases the price. Obviously, whether it is leading into the sales, whether it is affecting the distributors' profitability, profit margin, or whether it's affecting the retailer's profit margin, or will the customers are ending up buying more just because you have reduced the price. And most importantly, what competitors are doing when you have reduced the price. Have they also reduced the price or not? These are some of the things that you will get to know by marketing research. Marketing research is one of the principal tools for answering such questions because it links the consumer, the customer, the public, and the marketer in this way. All right. What we understand by marketing research? What we know about marketing research? Well, marketing research is nothing but it's a systematic and objective process of generating information to aid in making the decisions, marketing decisions especially. Okay, it's systematic because its approach is very systematic in terms of product design. It first tries to understand whether this particular product is required or not. Secondly, after having done a proper research of having understood whether this particular product is required, then it goes to the next step in order to understand at what price this product should be sold for. And third important thing that this marketing research process tries to understand is at what price will this particular product get sold, and how this product has to be, I mean, what are the activities that the companies have to undertake in order to create the awareness. So in order to address all these things, marketing research is conducted, and that is what is the very nature of marketing research. Look, its approach is quite systematic in nature. It is approaching this problem of understanding the consumers in a very systematic manner, right from whether this particular product is actually required or not. By understanding that, starting from there, you start with the product features, you go to the promotion, you go to the product, you go to the price, you go to the distribution, you go to the process, you go to the people, and things like that, and so on and so forth. It's quite systematic in nature. It's quite systematic in nature because this is a very scientific process. This is a very scientific approach that we are undertaking in this case. It's quite scientific because there is a process behind doing a marketing research. We cannot just say that, we'll go to the market and try to understand a few questions from the customer, and then, hey, we can't come up and say that, this is what I have found out. It doesn't happen like that. Okay? There has to be some kind of a brainstorming that happens, what sort of information that we need to understand from the customers. And then, secondly, we move on to we convert those parameters into the form of questions, and we execute this question to the final potential customers in order to understand what they really want. And from there on, we choose a particular bunch of people for this, and we call it as sampling. And even sampling has to be done in a very systematic manner. Sampling has to be done in a systematic manner. Data from the surveys has to be collected in a systematic manner. Unwanted, missed data has to be eliminated. Whatever the data that you have collected needs to be analyzed in the proper manner using statistical tools. And therefore, after having done all these things, you come up with a conclusion. And therefore, we are saying that this entire process is quite systematic in nature. And apart from that, marketing research approach is quite objective in nature. It approaches the problem in a very systematic manner. Let's suppose, we can do a marketing research with problem in our mind. With problem in our mind, let's understand this way. Our sales are going down. As compared to competitors, our sales are going down. And you want to understand why my sales are going down. And that can be addressed by the process of marketing research. And here we can say very conveniently that we are practicing a very objective way of dealing marketing research or doing marketing research with an objective. I am approaching this process. A company can find out, a company might want to know before launching the product at what is the feasible price, what is the price range within which this product has to be offered. Okay? With this kind of an objective, we are conducting a research. And the findings of the research probably will tell us, well, this price is not a right price. It might even say that this price is the correct price, which the customers perceive that this product has to be priced in this way. And if the product is priced in this way, they are definitely going to buy, or they probably may not going to buy. Okay, so with this kind of an objective, you are trying to approach the general consumer. Well, that is one of the reasons why we say that marketing is quite systematic. and it is quite objective process of generating information to aid in making marketing decisions. Alright, the process also includes specifying what information is required. It also includes what information required. Suppose if I just go back to my previous example of trying to understand whether the product is being sold at the right price or not, we are doing a research. We are going to the consumer to ask them, will you buy this particular product at this price? Or what should be the optimum price that should be priced on this product so that any consumer would not hesitate to buy it. See, what I am trying to sell here is we are trying to specify. We are trying to specify what exact information that I need. Okay, if you look at the previous examples, in this first example, the manager of a food company is asking whether the packaging change will improve my brand image. He's looking for additional information. A competitor may ask the same thing. How can I monitor my sales and retail trade activities as compared to my competitor? Okay, he is asking for a particular information. The manager in the industrial tool market may often ask the same thing. Now, well, this is what it is. The process of marketing research includes specifying what information is required and designing the method of collecting that information from the market. Well, XYZ information that I might probably need. We might have to come up with a method of collecting that information. It can be through a survey, it can be through a questionnaire, it can be through a number of methods. Okay, so that is how we do marketing research. And apart from that, marketing research is all about managing and implementing the collection of data, analyzing the results, and communicating the findings for their implications. Okay, so this is what the marketing definition is. Another definition is it's a planning, collecting, analysis of data relevant to marketing decisions and making the communication of the results of this analysis to the management. Okay, what are the three functional roles of marketing research? This is the meaning of saying this functional roles of marketing research. Basically, what I'm trying to tell here is what marketing function research does. What it does, and what are the different types of activities that it does, so that those activities are classified into different segments. The first and the foremost functional roles of marketing research. Actually, marketing research, it wears three different types of hats, three different types of activities. The first one is descriptive function, which includes gathering and presenting the statements of the fact. For example, what is the historic sales trend in the industry? That is the first question that you might probably ask. How was the sales for this particular product for last 5 years? How was the sales in the January, February, March? What was the tendency? In which month the sales was on a very high? On which month the sales was on a very low side? And what were the reasons for these fluctuations? And this kind of a data can be collected for preceding 5 years. And by looking into this data, we can find out what are the sales what are the parameters on which the consumers are buying. Probably you might find out that the consumers might end up buying just because, just in the first week of the month. Maybe because they have got a compensation. Maybe the consumers are salaried. Most of your employees, most of your customers are employees. most of the customers are working for the organizations. Most of the customers are working for the organizations, and therefore they are getting compensated. They are getting compensated. They are getting compensated, and then these are working employees, middle class people who are working for somebody else, and just the first and second week of the month, you are getting a lot of sales. That's because your target consumers are, most of them are middle class, and therefore your sales are very up in the first few weeks of the month. You can ask a question like, what are the consumers' attitude towards the product, and it's advertised and things like that. Okay, the second functional role of marketing research is the diagnostic function, which includes the explanation of data actions. What was the impact on sales when the package design was changed? How can a product or service offering be altered to better serve the consumer or even the potential customers who are not even consuming your product? How you can convert a non-user into a user? What are the ways by doing that? Even this functional role of marketing, actually the diagnostic function is basically related to solving the problem. Say for example, I have for strange reasons, the product is not moving into the market, and we want to know what those strange reasons are. We don't know whether the pricing is proper or not. We don't know the product features are proper or not. We don't know whether it is available in the retail shop or not. Whether the salesmen are doing enough to promote your product or not, whether the distributors are doing enough to promote your product or not. Are these distributors are very happy to promote your product to the retailer as compared to your own competing product? If the distributor is not very happy in distributing your products to the retailers, what could be the possible problem? Or, you might want to diagnose this, to understand whether this is a pricing problem, whether it is a product feature problem, whether it is a distribution problem, whether it is a problem with the people, whether it is a problem with the process, and things like that. Okay, so marketing research to the management acts like a diagnostic function, which includes explaining the data actions. And apart from that, how can a product or service offering be altered to better serve the customers? Even this can be done. Third important function that the marketing department can undertake is the predictive function. Predictive function includes the specification of how to use the descriptive and diagnostic research to predict the results of a planned marketing decisions. For example, how can the firm best take advantage of opportunities they arise in the ever-changing marketplace? Predictive function always deals with prediction of future. Prediction of future in terms of sales fluctuations. Considering different environmental factors with respect to changing customers' beliefs, with respect to changing competition level, with respect to general variations in the economic factors, with general variance into the GDP. If the GDP increases, what happens to the consumption? If inflation increases, what happens to the consumption? So the predictive function is all about predicting something that might probably happen in future. So for which the companies have to be prepared for it to, just in case, in advance, so that you can tackle any kind of adversities that might come. Okay, so that is what is predictive function. What is the importance of marketing research to the management? Okay, so without marketing research, it's very difficult for any company to understand the customer. In fact, if you don't understand the customer, it's very difficult to do business. You can't come up with a new product if you don't understand the products. If you don't understand the customer's requirement. If you don't understand the customer's requirement, you will not understand the proper pricing. You will not understand the customer requirements in terms of promoting your product, what they perceive about your product. Basically, it's a bridge between the company and the customer, and it's very important for any management to adopt marketing research, without which the company may not do business. Okay, so the first and the foremost, the unrelenting drive for quality and customer satisfaction in order to sustain in the business, in order to survive in the ever-competing companies for the customer base, how do we survive the competition? Two rules. One is you improve upon the quality, and then you provide the extremely very high customer satisfaction. If you do these two things, then probably you will retain your customers. Another reason why marketing research is very important is because it has got a paramount importance of keeping existing customers. It has been researched and found out that retaining existing customer is much cheaper than looking out for new customers. And with the research, it has been established that 71%. It is 71% expensive affair to go for new customers rather than dealing with an existing customer. All right. So that is why it is paramount important for in keeping the existing customers. And the third important reason why marketing research is very important for the management is because we all know that the marketplace is changing. It's changing, and it is changing because of so many things happening. It's changing because every day the government is coming up with the different rules related to export-import. It's changing because the oil price is changing every day. It's changing because the foreign exchange rates are changing. It's changing because the GDP of a particular country or a particular marketplace, sometimes it increases, sometimes it decreases. It's changing. So therefore, this change can be contributed by arrival of different competitors as well. If you just look at the telecom industry about 10 years back, there were hardly few dominant players, like Airtel was there, and like even Vodafone was there, like BSNL was there, and only few players. And suddenly it got changed after the Jio entered, Virgin entered, or even Telenor entered, and many other ASL company entered, and the whole gamut of doing telecom business got changed. And because of this change, the company has to adopt its four marketing Ps. You got to change your pricing in order to address your competition. You need to tweak, you need to change your product features in order to address the competition. A company might probably even change the way it is promoting its products because the marketplace is changing. Okay? So, the process of marketing has to be changed. The people have to change their mindset in order to address your survivability. This is how marketplace keeps changing, and that is the only thing which is very constant. And it's very important for any customer, any company for that matter, to understand what are the changes that are happening so that the agility of the company improves. Okay, so what are the basic differences? What are the types of research that we have here? There are two basic types. One is the pure research, and the second one is the applied research. Let us try to understand one by one what is pure research and what is applied research. Pure research is it's conducted to expand the limits of the knowledge, to verify the acceptability of given theory, to learn more about a certain concept. This pure research is conducted. Pure research is aimed at expanding the frontiers of It is aimed at expanding the frontiers of knowledge rather than solving a specific pragmatic problem. A basic research could be related to some kind of a research. Let's suppose, we don't have any particular objective for this. We don't have any particular objective for this. We probably try to explore different types of what could be the possible research. What could be the way in which the consumers might end up buying FMCG products after this pandemic crisis. Look, this research is a very basic research. We might probably find out that there is a difference in the way people buy during the pandemic or post-pandemic. Or we might probably end up realizing that the consumers buy the same way before the pandemic and after the pandemic. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is a pure research or the basic research will help us to understand the basics. It could be related to a pricing. It could be related to the product features. It could be related to general economic turnaround. It could be related to inflation. It could be related to foreign exchange fluctuations as well. Without any perfect objectives, you are trying to explore certain aspects of doing business, and that is what is the nature of pure research or basic research. Basic research can also include, like say for example, let us find out where is the methane. And we don't know. We are trying to explore where the methane is. Okay, so that is what is the basic research means. And going forward, applied research conducted when decision must be made about the real life problem. As a researcher, as a business practitioner, you want to know when you need to improve upon the price, when you need to increase the price optimally in such a way that you are not compromising on the revenue. At the same time, you are not losing out to your competitor. Now let's suppose the management wants to improve upon, they just want to increase the pricing. What should be the proper time? You want to take an action about this real life problem. I want to increase the price. What sort of implications that I will incur due to the increase in the price? What sort of revenue that I'm going to lose? If you want to find that out, then probably, you must make a decision about applied research. Applied research aimed at solving a specific pragmatic problem, practical problem. A better understanding of the marketplace, or determining of why a strategy or tactic failed, or reduction of uncertainty in management decision making. It can be related to how you want to spend on which media. If I spend more on Facebook, will I be able to reach out to the maximum people? If I spend on Twitter for advertisement, will I be able to reach out to the maximum people? See, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to fix the problem. I want to fix a problem related to promotion. How do I spend my money for advertising the product so that I can maximize my sales? Or, in other words, which is the media wherein I need to invest more or spend more so that I can get maximum return on the investments? So if you want to address any kind of a problem, then applied research is one of the things that you can always focus upon. The term scientific method research refers to the techniques and procedures used to recognize and understand the market phenomenon. Scientific method is always a very systematic method which is by the companies. Whatever the findings that they are from the marketing research, you need to back it up using scientific methods. Either it can be related to sampling, has to be done in a systematic manner, whereas the sampling has to be reduced, and there is the different methods of sampling. I mean, you need to adopt the one such scientific method. Whatever that you find out from the marketing research has to be having a proper backing from the science. And therefore, it is being mentioned here that scientific method refers to the techniques and the procedures used to recognize and understand the marketing phenomenon. Okay, and apart from that, in scientific methods, we stress more upon the empirical evidence. The empirical evidence are nothing but the facts from the observation and experimentation is analyzed and interpreted to confirm or disprove prior conceptions. Disapprove prior conceptions. Okay, so basically what I am trying to say here, what is happening here is whether it is basic research or applied research, we need to have a scientific approach with empirical evidence. If we do a research without these two things, then probably nobody will take your research very seriously. Marketing research can be classified into, I'm talking about the applied research. Applied research can be classified into three broad categories. The first category is all about the programmatic, second one is the selective, and the third one is evaluative. What is programmatic research? It is conducted to develop marketing options through segmentation, opportunity analysis, customer attitude, and product usage studies. Programmatic research is a pre-programmed research in order to explore, in order to develop marketing functions, marketing options. For example, what should be the proper base for my segmenting the market? Should I segment stuff? Let's suppose I'm talking about a product. Let's suppose I'm talking about a chair. Should this chair be sold only for the middle class people, high class people, low class people? I mean, what should be the basis for my segmentation? Should I separate? Segmentation is all about grouping the customers into different groups, and you are trying to address those groups. You are trying to market your product only to that group. Okay, so that grouping has to be done properly. Now, on the what basis I need to group? We need to find out that group. Should I group those products? I mean, should I group those customers using the income? Should I group those people based on the loyalty? The loyalty. How often they are loyal? What are the repeat buying habits? Should I group those people based on whatever the number? I mean, whatever the criteria, should I group them based on the number of people who are living? Should I group them based on the marital status? Should I group them based on whatever that can be? Okay, so that is what is programmed search. Okay, this is what we have discussed until so far, and remaining things we will discuss in the next class. Okay.